This week, I caught David as he began preparations for 2 races at Texas Motor Speedway.
Man, extremely excited to be racing at the Texas Motor Speedway.
I asked him if he has a home team advantage.
I used to think I had an advantage, and I like to think I still have an advantage.
Usually David drives a Toyota Camry in the Cup Series races. I asked him what he'll be driving this weekend.
But it's going to be a Ford Mustang on Sunday afternoon, and that Ford Mustang, that's a sharp-looking race car.
So, let's join David Starr for this latest episode of The Horn. Hello everyone and welcome to The Horn, where we are counting down the hours to this weekend when David Starr will be competing in not 1 but 2 races at Texas Motor Speedway. So let's welcome David Starr. David, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Neil, thanks for having me again.
It's great to have you back. So you must be getting very excited as we count down the hours to this weekend.
Man, I'm always excited to race, but man, extremely excited to be racing at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's my home track. I love it. There's so many fans that are going to be at the race, and just the energy there at the racetrack is awesome. And then having, companies here in Texas that are my sponsors, my partners, it's exciting for me.
So in the Xfinity race, you're going to be driving the Whataburger Toyota Supra.
Absolutely, man. That bright orange, everybody in Texas loves a great hamburger, and they drive over to Whataburger and get them a good hamburger. And to be able to represent them in racing and NASCAR is quite an honor. But man, I'll be driving the Whataburger Toyota Supra in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and then back that up with our ConectUS Ford Mustang on Sunday. Golly, it's going to be an exciting weekend for sure.
So it's going to be the Ford Mustang in the Cup Series race.
Absolutely,
Yes.
Our ConectUS
with your new sponsors.
Man, ConectUS and Kyocera. It's going to be a good-looking race car, and I hope it races as good as it looks, because I know it's going to look good, So, but it's going to be a Ford Mustang on Sunday afternoon, and that Ford Mustang, that's a sharp-looking race car.
So, what's the difference do you find when you're driving them between the Ford Mustang and the Toyota Camry that you sometimes drive?
Neil, that's a great question. I think that Carl Long, that owns MBM Motorsports, my team, we race Toyota Camrys in the NASCAR Cup Series, and we have some Ford Mustangs. And I believe that the Ford Mustang, motor-wise, horsepower, torque-wise, has a little bit more horsepower. So racing here at the Texas Motor Speedway, Carl knows, that's our home track. We have some great partners, Kyocera and ConectUS and Whataburger. It's like, man, I want to run good. I want all the power you can give me. So we made a decision not that long ago to bring the Ford Mustang on Sunday afternoon for the Cup race.
In sports, we often hear the expression home team advantage. Here in Texas Motor Speedway, do you think you have an advantage?
Man, Neil, that's a great question. I used to think when I raced here at home at the Texas Motor Speedway that I had a little bit of an advantage. But man, you got to understand, we're at the elite level, the best of the best in the world racing in NASCAR. I mean, you make it to the NASCAR level, you're the best of the best. So, man, every competitor out there that's holding a steering wheel that I compete against, they're all champions, they're all good. So, I used to think I had an advantage, and I like to think I still have an advantage, but the truth of the matter is there is no advantage. It's just, it's just all team, race car, horsepower, handling. So you just hope when we come back and race here at the Texas Motor Speedway that everything works out perfect and we have a great race.
I and everyone from ConectUS and Kyocera who are going to be here on the day, and there's going to be something like 25 of us, we're going to be cheering for you. And I know the crowd will be in the bleachers cheering for you, but you won't be able to hear the home crowd over the noise of the engine. Or do you ever actually hear the spectators screaming, and shouting for you?
Man, Neil, that's interesting because you can feel the energy before the race starts, and they do the prayer, the prayer and the national anthem, and you see the crowd, and the energy here at the racetrack is magical. So I can't really hear or see or feel that energy during the race, but man, I'm motivated to do the best I can do. Every week when I get inside that race car, I don't care if I'm at the Texas Motor Speedway or Las Vegas Motor Speedway or Atlanta Motor Speedway, I want to win. I want to do good. I'm a winner, and I'm going to get all I can get. So, but I can assure you that yourself and all the other 25 ConectUS guests and Kyocera guests, man, they're going to feel that same energy I feel for that race starts, and it's going to be awesome.
We're going to give out a secret to our audience that just a few weeks ago, you were actually driving me and my friend Rick Stapp and Kirk, who's over on the side there, driving us around the track in another vehicle at a fair old speed. And it seemed to me like you had a favorite route to take between, you know, the outer wall and the inner wall. Do you follow the same track every time you drive Texas Motor Speedway?
Well, you know, every racetrack has that perfect line. You know, if you don't have any traffic around you, the fastest way around there. And you know, my home track being the Texas Motor Speedway, I know the perfect line around here. But I can assure you, during a race, that you don't always get to run that perfect line. You know, you got somebody trying to pass you, you're trying to pass somebody, you're racing side by side with somebody. That's why it goes back. This is such a team sport, because you got to have a great crew chief, a great team around you to give you a race car that handles good, that's powerful, has a lot of power, so you can make passes and you can have a great race. But we'll be running that perfect line, and hopefully our car is just as perfect as that line I'll be running is.
So is there any different preparation that you're making for this coming weekend with the Mustang over what you would normally do if you were racing elsewhere around America?
You know, that's an interesting question, Neil, and here's why. Because it's my home track. You know, if there's anywhere you want to race good and please your partners, they'll all be here. And you know, a lot of the fans have been following me for years. You know, and a lot of family members will be here. The truth of the matter is, man, every day I get up and every race I go to, man, I want to do good. You know, I just don't say, hey, next week's all right, just so. But when I get to you know, yes. It's built in us. We're competitive, we're motivated, and I want to do good every race. You know, and especially here at the Texas Motor Speedway. But man, the preparation from one weekend to the next, no matter where we're at in the United States, is the same. And man, you can't motivate me any more than what I'm motivated myself. I mean, it's over the top. I want to compete. I want to compete. I want to run good. I want to win, and we give it our all. You know, and when we don't win, don't mean we're not giving it our all. As long as everybody does their job and you give it 110%, that's all you can do.
You bet. David Starr, I can hardly wait for this coming weekend, and I know everyone at home and everyone at ConectUS and everyone at Kyocera is wishing you the best of fortune. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks again for being on The Horn. Take care.